Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I am not ready, and I am not okay. Because I'm back for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the Shibuya Incident arc, and we're here with episode 16 today. Last time, Akutami finally delivered on his promise that the games were over, the fun times were over, and the value of life is also apparently over. After all, Yuji, our main ambassador for the value of life, is currently sleeping on the job, and in his place is his polar opposite, his other half, Sukuna. Man, did the bodies hit the floor last episode. Mimiko, Nanako, Nanamin, Naobito, Zanging, freaking Dagon, and of course the one that I'm still in denial about, Maki. We lost a lot of people from both sides, from all three sides, from everywhere, from every angle. People are just dropping left and right, and I get the feeling it's just beginning. I mean, if Sukuna makes good on his promise, we've got a lot more bodies that are going to drop, but at this point, the arc has fallen apart completely to the point where it's no longer how are we going to defeat these foes, and it's more of how are these overwhelming foes individually we had no chance against going to hopefully run so much chaos that they run each other into the ground. And that's like the only thing I can think of. There's pretty much only two things that I still have that give me even the smallest faint flicker of hope. Is one of them is that Kyoto is still not here yet. I assume they're on their way. I assume they were notified as soon as the things started happening. So hopefully they'll come in the nick of time to get burned alive by Jogo. I don't know. But the other one is Toji Fushidio. He has really no reason to help us unless like Volcano Head or Sukuna come in his view, and then I guess he fights against the strongest person there. But it seems like he's moved away from that because now he's facing down his son, who at least I don't think was the strongest person in the room. So it seems like his personal desires have, at the very least at the moment, overridden his desire to defeat the strongest person in the room. Or Fushiguro's just the strongest person in the room, and I'm willing to believe it. He's quite powerful. I don't know if he's Naobito levels of powerful, but he is powerful. So I assume we're going to get them fighting today. If not, that'll be next episode. Maybe we'll just go revisit Choso. We haven't seen him in a bit. But it's just a mess. It's just a mess. I knew things were going to go crazy. I knew things were going to get insane. I didn't think they would get so... It's been 2 days and I still don't have a good word for it. I still don't have a good way to describe it. It's just insane. I could just stare at the camera and just make random hand gestures and expressions for like 20 minutes just to try to find a word to describe how I feel about last episode, but I don't think that'd be as interesting. It'd be hilarious, but it probably wouldn't be as interesting as what I'm going to do instead, and that is just get into the episode. But before that, please, if you do enjoy the video, please do remember to like. It really does help me out, and it shows the algorithm that you enjoyed it, so it'll show it to more people, and they can enjoy it too. Same thing with commenting. If you want to help yourself out, subscribing, if you haven't already, is a great way to get notified. I release them 3 times a week. So yeah, it's join me on this journey as we get into the sort of final leg of it, and then we'll watch season 3 together too. But I'm going to put all that YouTuber housekeeping stuff aside, and we're just going to hop into the episode now. Okay, let's do this. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 16. We are starting with some colors and Volcano Head. We just skipped their fight, didn't we? Kokomade. With only 15 fingers, too. I really hope we don't cut back and close that gap. I hope this is just where we are now. He's just out of the window. That would be so funny. It would also be quite cathartic for me, seeing Volcano Head get put in his place again. So many people on that screen are dead. Don't tell me that's just the screen of people who will die in this arc. I'm gonna lose my mind if that's the case. Especially because Fushiguno's in there. God, the darkness of this opening is really starting to grow into itself now. As the arc just goes so bad. And where's Mahito? Is he just waiting for his chance, or is he just like lost? He's just like, this Shibuya is a larger district than I thought. I have no idea where I am. You are my special. We are special. Okay. We are going into this. Good. Now we're gonna have some dialogue. Oh, the animation is different. Okay, they've got... We're in for Yuji versus Choso Part 2, aren't we? No other factors to worry about. Please tell me Sukuna and Volcano Heart are just gonna like fall from the sky in the middle of their fight. That would be awesome. Oh no, not the rabbits again. Ooh. Your guess is as good as mine, man. It truly is. Wow, that looked amazing. Just those rings of light. Oh, I am not ready for this episode, am I? Oh, the rabbit. Wow, look at that. Oh my god, the rabbits are throwing hands. Wow, let me up. Wow. I didn't think these were martial arts rabbits. They're freaking Lapanese. But I'm sorry, Fushiguno, you literally... He's using them as projectiles? What? What do you mean? Okay, it's almost midnight. Yo, Panda, where you been all this time? Okay, this is definitely another guest animator episode. Don't tell me it's the same guy. Seems a little different. Sure, why not? We'll play along. Oh, little preschoolers, elementary schoolers. And they all beat him up together. That's so cute. Oh, he's a sweetheart. Oh, they're rescuing people. That makes sense. Does he just not want to go to the center of it? Yeah. Understandable. Understandable. Of course not, and you very much will. And then he would die. So you're saving his life. Because you don't want to be alone. Debatable. We've got to... You just gotta... You gotta like maneuver him around it. Jeez. Thank goodness we got a little bit of comedy here. Freaking need it. After everything that just happened. Who are... Ooh. Those weren't Gojo, Geto's people, were they? From JJK0? I've seen them before somewhere, I think.
はいそうですかってわけにもいかんの。
はいそうですかって。
話を聞かせてくれ。長い。
Yeah, let's get a good dialogue in. And hopefully by the time we're done talking, Gojo will be freed. And meanwhile, child abuse is still happening. Sure, why not? Everything's a projectile. Jeez. My goodness. God, this episode looks good. I think visually I might actually like this one more than... I think I might like this one even more than Yuji vs. Choso. Oh, please don't talk about Nanamin. Much too soon. Did she? Oh, that's cute. I love this OST. Sprinklers. Oh, nice. Make it rain so thunder can't miss. Classic. Ooh, that's a dangerous way of thinking. I mean, that'd be nice, but... episode 1. Or episode 6, probably. Yeah. Jeez. So fast. Oh. What? Just a piece of his domain? Like a simple domain? And he still got out. Yeah, he's a monster. He's surprised? Naruto. Wow. And there it is. Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have saved him.
恵みをお願いね。
お前、名前は
Pretending not to know him.
全員じゃねえのか。
Oh, he kept his name. So cute. Oh. That's beautiful and all, but we really could have used your help, man. And he changes back. It's as if it was all just an illusion. Wow. What an incredible encounter. That was beautiful. That was perfect. He never even... Oh, come on! Come on! Why aren't you dead? I knew you weren't, but god damn it.
違う。あの偽物の目的も正体も定かではない。が、世が混沌に満ちれば、割を食うのは非術師の猿どもだ。 強者であることが
Monkeys. Okay, yeah, this is Ghettos. Yeah.
術師が増え呪霊
I
は
thought I
消えた
recognized them.
それはゲトウ様が望んだ世界だ。
Mm-hmm.
だから協力する。
Yeah, wasn't she like
肉
the
体のことはこの際
secretary?
感知しない。それが意志を継ぐということだ。
ごちゃごちゃややこしくすんなし、大好きな人はゾンビみてえにもてあそばれて黙ってられるかって言ってんだよ。ゲトウ様の物語は終わったんだ。
Ooh.
もう誰にも怪我させない。いい
God.
加減大人になりなさい、ナナコ。
Absolute rage in her eye.
大人だの子供
Hello,
だの。
Mr. Fly.
それを言い出したら終わりだろうが。
Okay, calm down. Oh,
そう収め
you
なさい
killed the fly.
スグルちゃんが一番望んでいないのは私たちが傷つけ合うことよ。あなたたちはどちらも間違っていない。ここでお別れしましょう。おのおのやりたいようにやりなさい。
タルーはどうすんのよ。
どちらにもつかないわ。ミゲルちゃんと同じ。
Mikeru-chan.
スグルちゃんを王に
Is he still in like Africa or whatever?
でもみんな忘れないでね。私たちは家族。いつかまたどこかで
That's nice.
一緒にご飯を食べるのよ。
Yeah, about that one.
私たちはゲトウ様の意志を継ぐ者。交戦関係者ならそれ以上語る必要はないでしょ。投降するのしないの。はっきりしない男は嫌いよ。
俺はパンダだから関係ないな。
話が短いんだよ。くそ
Come on, drag it out, drag it out. Come on.
このレベルの集団だろう。
Ooh,
ますぎる。
music slowly picking
適
up.
当に言いなしてのらりくらりといくわ。
Okay, let's see what you got.
新影流居合。
Ooh, Shinkageryu. You wouldn't happen to be. Oh my god, that laugh. That's Skuna, right?
かかってこい。
It
俺に
is.
一撃でも入れられたらお前らの下についてやる。手始め
Ooh.
に渋谷の人間を皆殺しにしてやろう。一人を除いてな。
Yup, except Mushiguro. Alright, let's see it. Slice and dice. Okay, this is a fight I can get behind. This is a beatdown I can appreciate. Freaking AP shot. Just casually walking through the hallway. Wow. No, that head, he can't use that head. Oh! The ears ringing. 9. I mean, you just fed him 15, and that's like without Sukuna himself. He's at least twice as strong as you. But I can't even land a blow. Wow, okay, Volcano Head. That is an insane ability. Well, there goes Shibuya. And here comes hell. We're just in hell now. No! And the cross. Oh, it's Reizei arc all over again. Oh,
月明かりが
trying to keep his Sean.
おかげでお前の地底がよく見える。ほら、
15 out of 20.
俺が飽きるまで
He's at 75% power. Jeez.
どこへ行く？
Fucking Naruto squad here, okay. Yeah, building's blowing up, don't worry about it.
なんでか知らねえが特急同士がやり合ってる。アリンコの上でゾウがタップダンス踊ってんの。
Pretty much.
俺たち
Yeah,
が
just book it. Forget about the search and rescue. You just gotta go.
僕の番。
Supreme R?
新影流。なんだ。さっさと逃げる。
ならん。
Howdy.
これより四方一丁の人間全員。俺
From
がよしというまで
100.
動くのを禁ずる。
What?
金を破ればもちろん殺す。まだまだまだ。
Is he gonna... He's just having fun, isn't he? Unharmed, more like untouched.
なぜ領域を使わない？
Why won't you? I mean, I know the answer.
では勝てないことは分かっている。
五条悟がそうだったからか？負け犬根性極まれりだな。
Giving up free tried.
せっかく今日が乗ってきたところだ。お前の得意でやってやろう。
What do you mean?
フーガ。
それを炎か。
Fire versus fire. His technique is whatever the fuck he wanted it to be.
知られているものと思っていたが、そもそも呪霊知らぬはずだ。心配せずとも術式の開示などこすい真似はせん。
I'm willing to bet I'm willing to bet his technique is that he just draws upon other people like a gate. Is that? Oh my god. The hands. Let's see it. Snow Western draw. Talk about cinema.
すまない、花見、ダゴン。
Tell me he's just dead. Oh my god. Did he just die? Is that what that is? Is that what this is? Did he just die? Tell me we're not gonna see the blast. He's just dead. The mirror of humanity, yeah. Oh god. That was... I did not like that visual at all. The top of our ranks.
再び生まれ落ちるとき、我々はもう我々ではない。それでもまた会える日を心待ちにしているぞ。我々こそ真の人間だ。
なんだお前。人間になりたかったのか。
Skuda's just there. Of course he is.
人間そのものではなく人間の位置。
Yeah.
そんなとこだろう。
Yeah.
分かってなおくだらんな。群れとしての人間、群れとしての呪い。寄り合いで自らの価値を測るから皆弱く矮小になっていく。
Grow weaker and
お
stunted.
前は
Huh.
焼き尽くすべきだったのだ。 打算も計画もなく手当たり次第。五条悟に行き着くまで未来も死も金繰り捨ててな。理想をつかみ
That's
取る。
really interesting.
お前にはそれが足りていなかっ
The
た。
hunger to realize your ideals.
かもしれんな。
だがまあ多少は楽しめたぞ。
I hope that was at least a bit. Jesus.
術師呪霊。1000年前やった中ではマシな方だった。
That's a serious compliment. I mean, he's a disaster curse, so he freaking better
お
be.
前は強い。
He freaking better have been. We lost Nanamin and Maki to him.
これは
Is he
さあな。
recognition?
俺はそれを知らん。
I've never cried. I wouldn't know. Yeah, he's just dead. Burned to death. Wow. What a way for the freaking fire spirit to go out.
お迎えに参りました。
Oh, this is that person we've barely seen. Are we finally gonna learn who they are?
お久しぶりでございま
Uraume.
す。
Edie's playing.
ふざけんなよ。起きろよ。左折しろ。
What do you... Wait. What? How do you just end an episode like that?
メントスコーラって最近ネットでよく見るけど本当かな。
なんで？
ガキの頃メントスとコーラなんてたまたま食い合わすことが1回はあったと思うんだよ。特に記憶ないってことはやっぱあの動画をフェイクだ。気をつけろ。
Christ.
次回霹靂にしろ。
また来週。
I'm gonna be like this at the end of every episode from here on out, aren't I? I need to like go on a walk, but it's like 18 degrees out, so I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna try to pull myself together. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. So this is what a great fun open with this like these colors, the city lights as we now know, just vaguely shining, and then we're like, who is this? Wait, I know that voice. Wait, that's Jogo. Wait, with the episode. Wait, but he was. Wait, but. It's such a great way to start off the episode. Because they don't skip the fight. Obviously, we get the fight throughout the episode, but there's a beauty in not showing us, right? There's a beauty in it's like taking the spirit of a jump cut without actually it literally being a jump cut. There's a beauty in non-linearity. And I guess non-linearity isn't quite the word either, because it is like one sequence after another. We end the last episode, they're going to fight. We start the next episode, he's already losing. Because we don't need to see what happened in between that, right? And it's not just that. I mean, you could extrapolate that. We don't need to see the whole rest of the fight. But what I mean by that is, well, no, it's not what I mean by that. It's less we already knew it was going to happen and more, well, it's like what we've got here. As you can see, I can't even think right now. My brain's just not braining. It's similar to what we did with Fushiguro last episode, where we just where Fushiguro is facing us off, and then the next thing he's like breaking through a window. It's putting us in the perspective of them, right? Volcano Head's like, I don't know, what are we even, where, I don't even stand a chance. Like, how did I even get outside? He didn't say that exactly, but it puts you in the perspective, like that sense of vertigo, of disorientation. It's perfect. We don't need to see him get kicked out the window. We know he got kicked out the window. And it puts us in the perspective. It perfectly frames how this fight's going to go. We know that it's going to be one-sided. We know Volcano Head doesn't stand the ghost of a chance, but it's still great to have this framing that this is just going to be a beatdown. And the battle's already been decided. And in the same way, we have this fight, right? This fight is also framed perfectly. Massive props to Akutami with how he managed both of these, especially since they're back to back. With Volcano Head versus Sukuna, Volcano Head's falling out of a window when the fight starts with him flying out of a window. I assume it's Akutami. It might have been the directors, the storyboarders who decided this, but I assume in the manga as well, he starts by flying out of a window, getting knocked out of a window. That sets him up for failure, right? In our eyes. And likewise, this one starts out very perfected form of Maki-san. That's mean. Too soon. He doesn't know oh God, he doesn't know she's dead. Oh, fuck. He doesn't know she's dead. Well, who am I kidding? He might be dead soon, too. Who freaking knows at this point? Or maybe he'll never find out she's dead. Who knows? I got sidetracked. What was I even talking about? The Jogo fight starts with him out of window, out of Sukuna's league, right? It sets him up for failure in our eyes. This fight starts quietly. It sets up that this fight is, I mean, it's going to be high octane. It's going to be insane, but it sets it up. This fight is going to end quietly, right? Jogo's fight ends completely one-sidedly. This fight ends silently, almost anticlimactically, at least in Fushiguro's eyes. So both fights end as they start. That's framing, right? It's great framing. And God, oh my God, it's such a beautiful fight. I mean, the freaking kung fu rabbits, there's too much to, I'd be here all day if I went through every single, look at this. I mean, it's trying to figure out what it's doing. Look at this. This isn't an impact frame. That's an impact sequence. Just the amorphous blob of bunnies as Fushiguro just desperately rolls out of the way. I mean, this whole fight is just beautiful. It's just would you just look? Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so real, right? Like, there's no like big shockwaves with these impacts, at least with most of them. Freaking headbutt. But with the camera like jerking around and with their impact, like they feel so real. This feels like a real fight. And the freaking rabbit's hopping up, jump kicking him. He bites him. Fushigio's insane. He smashes the ground and then uses the debris as projectiles to get rid of all the rabbits. What are you talking about? What do you mean? And this is a great bit of humor. This is really fun. This is real. Go to this, go to that. He isn't the only person in the world. Debatable. Who knows who might be there? But of course, I really just want to relax. And then there's a line here that's interesting that I want to mention here. I want to talk about a little bit. I don't want to go near. I prefer to waste time. I don't want to die, obviously. If Panda knew, he'd go immediately. I won't tell him because, not because he'll die, but because I don't want to be alone. He might be a panda, but he has more of a human heart than I do. This is mainly played off as a joke, but I think this is actually worth discussing. This is actually interesting. He might be a panda, but he has more of a human heart than I do. I assume he's talking about the fact that Panda would immediately want to go and rescue the hostages and beat Fifth Floor. He doesn't because he wants to be afraid, right? He has more of a human heart. He wants to save the people. He wants to go help people who are in need, while this guy just wants to stay alive. And that's the human heart. But is it, though? Is it really? What is a human heart? Is a human heart altruism? Is it wanting to rescue people? Or is a human heart feeling the emotions that humans feel? Because if a human heart is the ideal, is community, is being a hero, it's all that stuff, then sure, Parkour Panda has more of a human heart than you do. But if a human heart is something that's relatable, something that we understand, something that we feel, something that we can connect with, I would argue, no, you have more of a human heart than he does. Because you don't want to die. You don't want to be alone. I don't think there are many things more relatable than those two. Are there? I think when he says a human heart, he's referring to the former, the ideal human. But I prefer the latter. And I think a lot of people do, even if they don't know it. I would rather have a hero who is afraid of dying and who doesn't want to be alone than one who goes to the rescue at the drop of a hat. Because the former is a person, just like me. The former is much more inspiring to me. Not as an ideal I could strive to be, but as a person like me who does these deeds regardless. And I think that's more impressive. I think that's more humbling. I think that's easier to aspire to. And it's something I want to aspire to more. If you've seen My Hero Academia, especially the final season, I won't spoil anything, but it's the distinction between Deku and All Might. Deku inspires other people to stand up around him because of his weakness. They see him tripping and falling and not being enough, and they stand up and want to join along to see him through. All Might inspires people with his overwhelming strength and competency. He saves the day and people have faith in him. I prefer the former. I prefer Deku because the human heart that I value is the human heart that feels the same thing I do and that I can see myself in his shoes. I find that infinitely more inspirational than the person who is the ideal hero, who has the ideal heart. I think that's more of a human heart than not. And I think it's perfect, right? That a human versus I don't mean for this to be a roasting session of Parkour Panda, but versus a doll made by humans and lives around humans, modeled after a panda, but it's a doll. He's a doll. I think it's perfect that these are the two different human hearts, right? Because the one that this guy, I should really know his name, I'm talking about him so much. The one that this guy is talking about is the ideal, right? An ideal is inherently not real. It's something that cannot be attained. It's something to be striven for, something to be strived for, to be pursued. It is a construct of our imagination, something that does not exist in reality. So what better personification to inhabit that ideal than a doll that was created by people? Just like the ideal itself, Parkour Panda was created by people. So he can embody that ideal that does not exist in reality. He can embody the, I need to save people. I need to hurry up and get this mission done and do the best I can, right? He gets to embody that because he's, not that he's not real, but he's artificial. Meanwhile, the actual human here, and before he's a freaking homunculus, this guy who, for all intents and purposes, as far as I can tell, is a full human, has a real human heart. And he's surprisingly connected to it. He's very in tune with his emotions. He's not afraid to admit to himself, to the audience, that he is afraid of dying and afraid of being alone. Those two might be connected somehow. I don't know if he's afraid of being alone in general, but he's afraid of being alone here for dying. But for the sake of argument, let's say he's just afraid of being alone in general. I think most of us are. So how fitting is it that the natural human has the natural human heart and doesn't have the properties of the ideal hero? Those go to the artificial creation. I think that's perfect. And I won't say this guy's more inspirational than Parkour Panda. Well, no, I can say that because later in the episode he does fight. He doesn't run away, right? That's the difference. Now, him fighting doesn't erase the fact that he's been procrastinating and avoiding fighting. That's still minus points for him. But at the same time, he would lose my respect if he ran away from the fight later in the episode. But the fact that he chooses to fight, the fact that he, when the going gets rough, he doesn't get going. He gets going. It's for that reason that I choose to find him more inspirational than Parkour Panda. Again, not a dock on Parkour Panda. It's just, I like this human heart more. I like the person who acts despite their desire to not die more than the person who's just willing to fight because that's the right thing to do. I think there's nothing wrong with the latter. I just like the former more because I can relate to it. I can't relate to wanting to save people who are in need. I mean, with rushing out to save people who are in need. I can't relate to that ideal, but I can relate to the person who can act despite himself and do his best. So, yeah. He doesn't have more of a human heart than you do. He has a different human heart. And then we get back to this fight, and poor Fushiguro just getting ragdolled. Just completely getting ragdolled. And then just... I mean, come on. Come on. The little zoom out. Wait, I didn't even notice that when it was happening. That's really fun. So he slides off, and then we zoom out from Fushiguro as he does this Assassin's Creed freaking jump, or jump, more of a controlled fall. That's so fun. That's super fun. There's so much fun, so much energy in this episode. And not even the energy of obviously what's about to happen, the special grade curses, but the energy of just the movement, right? There's so much movement. And then again, My Hero Academia, right? It's okay to push me further than I should because I have a healer nearby. That's a dangerous way to think. But, oh my God. But you can hardly blame him, right? I mean, it's certainly better than I need to do whatever I can, even if it kills me. It's better to try to create guidelines for yourself where it's I can take this amount of injuries and be okay. Because then you start trying to find a way of victory that falls within those guidelines, right? If he just said, even if it kills me, I need to beat him, then he would entertain solutions that would let him kill himself in the fight. But since he doesn't leave that as an option, his only options are those that allow him to sustain injuries that she can heal. Yeah, he can heal. So he gets rid of solutions that fall outside of that, in a way, saving his own life, right? We don't think about it very much, but it's really important that we set those mental guidelines because we will follow them. Right? We will follow them, subconsciously or otherwise. I mean, I don't think I speak for myself when I say I don't want Fushiguro to die, so I'm really glad he doesn't leave that as an option. And a lot of times people think it's a good thing to accept that a lot of things are outside of your control, that an internal locus of control is not the only thing that matters in the world, that there are external forces that you'll just have to roll with, right? So it can be tempting to say, it doesn't matter what I try to do, life's going to do its own thing, right? It doesn't matter if Fushigudo tries to stay alive, Sukuna's going to fall from the sky and crush him. So what does it matter that he's going to try to find a solution that doesn't involve him dying? In fact, he's only limiting himself and making it harder for himself, right? So there's no point in that. And yet, as we just see later in this fight, he finds a way to win, and admittedly, it doesn't fully work, but it's a good plan. He tries to trap him effectively, and it almost works. And it's a plan he only would have thought of because he gave himself a margin of wounds I can sustain that she can heal. And this is presumably one of them. Maybe it's a little bit closer than he would have liked, but if he'd allowed himself death, then he probably would have been even more reckless here, and he might have actually died. Whether Fushidio would have actually killed him or not, who are we kidding? He definitely would have. But it's that framing, right? It's that self-framing. It's that manifesting, you could even say. A self-fulfilling prophecy, you could even say. He allows himself to live. And this is such a beautiful, quiet ending to the fight. What's your name? It's not Zane. Even after being... Well, it's not even after being taken in the clan, but he have kept his name. It's that he saved him, right? This is proof that he saved him. In Fushidio's final moments, he made a passing comment to Gojo that his son was about to be sold off. He never saw how that ended up. And then when he wakes up here, I don't know if he probably doesn't know who Maki is, but effectively he's got Naobito Zane, Maki Zane, Nanami's there too, and Fushigudo, who was sold to the Zanes as far as he knows. So just a whole bunch of Zanes, right? So of course he'd think that he was sold off. So this is really beautiful. Because actually it could go either way. It could be what I originally thought. He doesn't really know. It could either be that he was sold off to the Zanes, but for some reason his son decided to hold on to his father's name, his daddy's name, his original name. Or that's how he identifies himself. Or it's proof that this final comment that he made in his life, that Fushidio made to Gojo, Gojo acted on it and got him out of it. We obviously know which one was true, but I don't think Fushidio knows which one happened, and I don't think he needs to. Because both are relieving, right? Both show that his life mattered, that his choices mattered, that he saved his son after dooming him in his own way. But regardless, it's how it ends, right? It's how it ends. It doesn't redeem, your final moments don't redeem you. They don't erase what you've done in the past, but they do define your legacy in a large way. And whether Gojo got him out of the Zane clan's clutches or whether Megumi held on to that name is Toji's. It's his legacy. And it shows that whichever path it was, it doesn't matter because Fushigudo lives on through Megumi. Toji was not the end of his line, even though I'm sure when he was living his life, Toji was all but sure that that would have been the end of the Fushigudo line, or at least his line. I don't know if he had like brothers or anything, but I'm sure he died thinking that the Fushigudo line was gone. So this is beautiful. I'm glad. Because he meant something. And then this, fuck that. And then Geto stuff. This is gonna be interesting. That guy's something. Can't wait to see what he does here. And then we get to the main of the event of the episode in the second half. Like, should I just be here for an hour just going through the second half of the episode frame by frame? I won't, but I'm really tempted to because it's so great. It's just he's just walking through with his hands in his pocket. What commentary is there? What commentary is there? It's just madness. I'm sure this is what you were looking forward to. I'm sure this is not the end of it, but there's no way it goes higher octane than this, right? I'm sure there's more craziness to come. I'm sure there's more like emotional battles to come, but this has to be like the high octane moment of the season. I mean, Volcano Head's gone. Like he freaking melts the district, and it's surprisingly not melted afterwards, but what do you the freaking magma hands that are just crushing building. God. Oh, jeez. The coloring, the distortion there just looks even more. I am your savior. It's just a tree. It's just an endless Reze arc all over again, as I said before. And there goes that building. It's just insane. And there he is fighting. And then this is so fun. You don't get to move until I say so. If you move, you die. I'm willing to bet he was just trying to have fun with it. He was just trying to have fun. I wonder who's going to get out of here. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care if they live or die. I'm going to kill them at the end anyways. So might as well have some fun, I guess. And then they have their face off. And we get a hint at his power. He says open. But he doesn't quite say open. So I have to assume his technique either draws upon the other person's technique, like opens it like a gate. Either that or just he has like access to different like elements. I don't know. Maybe he has access to the, if you know the Naziverse, the Gate of Babylon, and he can just access different elements and powers. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is that he beats Volcano Head at his own game. And then we have this beautiful moment. This unexpectedly, yet very deservedly somber moment. To humans, death is a mirror, and Mahito is that mirror. He is death. He's the fear of death, right? Humans fear and loathe death. That's why Mahito is so powerful. Because they fear death more than anything else. There's no negative emotion stronger than what humans feel towards each other, towards death. Mahito isn't death, admittedly, he's humans, but he's the negativity humans feel towards humans. And especially in the modern day, I would argue there's no negative emotion directed at anything more stronger or more focused than each other and humanity. So it's kind of beautiful and kind of hauntingly appropriate that Mahito's the last disaster curse standing. In a way, humanity is overcoming these different trials. The Mother Earth that it came from, right? The ocean is the origin of all life. The earth that they stand on, and the forest that they inhabited. it's like humanity is taking on its own past. So, of course, its final battle, not final battle per se, but its ultimate battle in these disaster curses is itself. It confronting itself. I'm really excited to see what the story has in store for Mahito moving forward. And then we finally get a little bit of what Sukuna wants, other than to kill humans and to raise villages and to have his way with women and just hedonism stuff. But we finally get a real bit of characterization for Sukuna. All of you get together and measure your worth against each other, driving all of you to grow weaker and stunted. You should have burnt everything down without calculations or plots, casting aside race, future, everything until you finally reach Satoru Gojo. That hunger to seize your ideals is what you were lacking. That's so interesting. Humans and curses. This is such an interesting twist on the timeless tale, that age-old message, I suppose, that rivals compete and grow stronger, right? It's as old as stories themselves. As old as there have been two sides competing, there's been the moral that healthy competition betters both sides, right? Two blades sharpening against each other. Two martial artists growing stronger for eternity, Demon Slayer. It's so interesting that Sukuna presents a flip side to this coin, that in fighting each other and competing against each other, you stunt your growth and you grow weaker. But that's not directly because of the competition, right? It's because you're growing in packs and you're fighting each other as groups. You should have burnt everything down to stand as the number one, stand at top. That's what he believes. So I guess it's less presenting the other side of the coin of competition, but presenting the other side of cooperation, of forming groups. And I'm not going to stand on a soapbox and talk about why groups are important, collectivism over individualism, all that stuff. That's a little bit trite. But it's really, I think what makes this really interesting is how he brings Gojo into the picture. The fact that even Sukuna himself sees Gojo as the absolute pinnacle, as the power ceiling, and doesn't say to try to reach me, is really interesting. I think it's an acknowledgement that, not that he's weaker than Gojo per se, he might be, but that Gojo is truly the enlightened one throughout heaven and earth. And that's so interesting. I mean, Sukuna's wrong here, right? Forming groups and fighting against each other doesn't make everyone weaker and stunted. That's only in the short term. In the long term, from a group perspective, it makes growth groups stronger, right? Like rivals. Though they're fighting to the death, which limits that a little bit. But from a collective perspective, from the groups, from the packs that they form, it enhances cooperation, it makes a stronger society. It ties back to My Hero Academia, because everything does, because this episode just keeps making me think of it. I don't know why I've got MHA in the brain so much. The show's already over. It's All Might in the single pillar, right? Sukuna is telling him to become a single pillar. And admittedly, it's not quite the same, because Sukuna's not telling him to become a pillar. He's telling him to become the thing that the pillar's holding up. But the same idea applies. what's the point of growing strong and becoming overwhelmingly powerful? For Gojo, it's to protect other people, to protect the people around him. It's to raise another generation behind him that can hold the weight he's holding. But for Sukuna, it's just to become strong. It's a limit on your own power. But it's not about power. It's about others for Jogo. And it's the props I have to give him in his final moment. Jogo cared about his comrades, about curses, about what he believed was the proper hierarchy of living things, curses over humans. So he never would have done this. He never would have cast everything aside and burnt everything down, because it was never about him. It was always about creating that world he wanted to see. And I have to give him respect where it's due. I have to give him props where it's due. He wasn't lacking hunger to seize his ideals. His ideals were just different. He didn't want to be standing atop a mountain of corpses. He wanted a city on a hill. But how do you explain that to Sukuna, right? Sukuna only ever cares about being strong, about being the strongest. So yeah, I've got to give it to him. I've got to give it to Jogo. He went out like a real one, fighting for what he believed. And in a way, he got what he believed. He awoke. Well, he didn't, right? He wants to awaken the king of curses, Sukuna, so he can bring about a world of curses, but that's not what Sukuna wants. So in a way, you could argue, even if Sukuna wins and just wins JJK, Jogo did all this for nothing. Because Sukuna doesn't care about the world Jogo wants to create. He doesn't care about creating a world of curses. He cares about creating a world of him. Curses and humans are equal in his eyes. They're equal. They're equally useful as tiles on the floor. As not even as clowns, not even as a jester, but as the balls that the jester juggles. He can be the jester. So it's sad. He just died. And then we finally learned this person's name. Ura Ume. Huh. It's been a long time. They knew him. Don't tell me from 1,000 years ago. And then what the fuck is this? Is this that muscle guy? Is this one of Ghetto's guys? Crazy way to end the episode, but that's neither here nor there. There's not too much to talk about. That's the episode, right? I wouldn't know that. He doesn't know tears. I was gonna end it there, but I don't have a big spiel here. There's just something I felt like I should bring up. It's really interesting that he cries here. It's really interesting. I can't tell you why. I think there are several people in the comments who are going to be more than happy to explain why, or at least to explain their interpretation. In the moment right now, having just watched the episode, I can't piece it together, but it's really interesting that Jogo, who was willing to throw himself away and die for the world, the ideal world he wanted to create, finds himself crying at being recognized. Something he shouldn't care about if he truly only wanted that world. So I can't say this applies to Jogo, but let me try and exercise an empathy. If I were in this position, I would definitely cry, no question. If I devoted myself to a mission of creating a world that I think is right, the world I see right now is inverted from how it should be, and I decided I would be a martyr, not even a martyr, I would just be another step towards creating that world, I'd push myself down, right? I'd ignore myself. I'd neglect myself because I'm less important than the world I want to create. But there's no such thing as not having an ego. There's no such thing as truly throwing that aside. All you can do is neglect it, pretend it's not there. And the more you neglect it, the more it'll want to come out. The more it'll want to be validated, recognized. So if I were in this position, yeah, I'd cry because even though I'd pretended like I didn't want it, this is Sukuna saying, you mattered. Even though you didn't picture yourself in the world you wanted to create, even though you didn't value yourself enough for that, you had enough value for that. You have enough value to leave your mark on history, to be remembered in the new world. And if Sukuna leads the new world of curses, at least in Jogo's head, then you left a lasting, indelible impression on the leader of the new world. Because you can't throw it away, ever. Not fully. Your ego is always there. And the more you ignore it, I think the more easily it blindsides you, as it does here. He's crying, or at least I assume he's crying, because he was recognized and he didn't realize how much he still wanted to be validated, as every living thing does. And I think having said that, I need to correct something I said earlier. Earlier, I said that I mentioned living things. I was talking about humans and curses, then I corrected myself and said curses. I should correct myself back. Because Jogo, Hanami, Dagon, they are living things. They're curses. They're not biological, but they're definitely living things. They're definitely living beings. They're people. They're not humans, but they're people. And that's really what these tears show. What Dagon's indignant speech about names shows. What everyone's reaction to Hanami, what Hanami's losing himself in his fight against Gojo, slipping up, shows that these are all people. They're all alive, so they all have value. It's the value of a life, right? All over again. They're alive, they have value. And these final moments don't define their value, but it shows us that they definitely had value without question. And I think that's why this is so beautiful. I made fun of them throughout the whole show. I don't regret it one bit. But for his final send-off, I will say, rest in peace, Jogo. You've truly earned it. But I still won't forgive you for what you did to frickin' Nanami and Baki. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. It really helps me out and helps the algorithm show that you enjoyed it, so it'll show it to more people. Same thing with commenting. If there's something in the episode that I didn't talk about or something I kind of brushed over, you want to bring to my attention, or you want me to talk about more, please leave it in the comments. Alternatively, something I said that you agree or disagree with, something that you just want to build off of. Yeah, I'd love to engage with you. I'd love to just read your comments. I read every single one without exception. And subscribing, of course, lets you get notified if you're not already. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching. Thank you for participating, for joining me on this journey. And until the next time, wherever I see you next, have a lovely rest of your day.